This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSPORT Fan Network. TalkSPORT. Powered by fans.
Hello, welcome back to Red Side of the Trent, here to give you another player report. They just seem to keep coming in thick and fast. I hope you're all well. I'm delighted to be joined by Henry from the Blue Monday Podcast and Ipswich Town Podcast to discuss the incoming winger of Omari Hutchinson. I mean, what a whirlwind this is absolutely is. I thought this was a smokescreen, to be fair, Henry, with Omari Hutchinson, but it seems like it's rapidly happening. How are you, first of all, before we get into
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, well, good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
I mean, what's kind of sparked this? Because I've seen something from Sam Mosey, which I want to talk to you about as well. But let's talk about Omari Hutchinson first of all. I mean, 37.5 million after you bought him for 20 million from Chelsea, if I'm correct. That's unbelievable turnover for you guys, first of all.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that was undisclosed, but was sort of in the region of 22 million, we're led to believe. And I think Chelsea have a 25% sell-on clause of the profits we make. Lots of different variables, but yeah, it's a decent profit for a year of having him as a full-time Ipswich player. And yeah, it very much looks like he's out the exit door, and we're just waiting for that sort of formal announcement now.
How disappointed are Ipswich fans? Because it seems like you gave him that breakthrough, and then obviously he helps you get promoted, and then maybe a bit of a disappointing season from him to contribute in terms of trying to stay up in the league. But is it disappointing that you're losing him so soon?
Yeah, I think most people are disappointed, or most people expected him to leave this summer, to be quite honest, because I know if you look at his numbers last season, I'm sure you're probably not that excited about seeing 3 goals and a couple of assists, but he is a very good player. And so I think he was one of the few that sort of were Premier League quality in our team. And he does a lot of stuff off the ball as well that isn't noticed in the attractive stats, if you like. So I think a lot of people at the start of the window thought that he would be one that would try and stay in the Premier League. The longer the window went on, obviously he had the under 21s of England where he was in the shop window to sort of everyone, and he had a really good tournament with them. And I guess the hope, the longer it went on, was that, okay, maybe there is a chance that he's going to stay. And with the clause expiring that Brentford couldn't meet, the 35 million release clause, I think there was just an issue with how the money was going to be paid. We thought, okay, maybe again dodged another bullet and he's going to stay. But the agent and Omari have been doing what quite a lot of players seem to be doing this summer, and ill-advising him. And he didn't travel to Auxerre for a friendly, and said he wasn't ready for that, and he did play in the Cup of Bromley because he said he couldn't contribute today. And I think the disappointment now is the way he's handled the exit, essentially. It happens in football, we know that, but it doesn't make it any easier as like you say, the club that has sort of given him his first chance in senior football and has built a really good rapport with the supporters. So yeah, disappointed we're losing a very good player, and also disappointment with how it's being handled at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I watched him in the Euros under 21s actually play more from the left side rather than the right side, and thought he was quietly good. I wasn't amazed by him, but I knew like he's got the quality. Obviously, come through at Chelsea before he went to Charlton and Arsenal. Went back to Chelsea before yourself. So yeah, I mean, I didn't even realise he'd actually got caps for Jamaica before going back to the under 21s. I don't even know how that's even possible, but we stand there. But I watched you guys against Birmingham City and was really shocked that he wasn't in the squad. That's when I thought he actually was going to go to Brentford, to be fair. So I am surprised he's coming to us. Do you think it's a good move for him coming to a club like Forest at all?
Yeah, first thing I'll say on the summer, he's rarely, if ever, played on the left for us. He comes from the right, or he plays centrally for us. And yeah, last week at Birmingham, he had a throat infection, which apparently is true. So we can't say anything other than that. Kieran McKenna's adamant that he had a throat infection. When the rumours of Brentford were circling and sort of becoming more rife, every Ipswich fan was kind of like, that's a risk. One of the riskier moves you could make to the Premier League this season, especially with the turnover they've had, the managerial changes. They are probably one of the more likely teams to get dragged into it, if any team is going to get dragged into it. So I think everyone thought that one was risky. So I think when the interest from Forest came in, it's more of a safe bet after last season. Obviously, you've established yourselves as a Premier League club now. You've got European football. So I think as a club, I think most Ipswich fans would say it's a more sensible move for him. Ultimately, we don't really care where he goes. Like it's his career now. I'm sure some people will follow it closely, but as long as we get a good deal for the club, people don't mind where he goes. But yeah, I think the general consensus is that Forest is a safer move for him.
Yeah. What sort of winger are we getting, Henry? Because obviously people that might have not watched Ipswich week in, week out for the last 2 seasons, obviously in the Championship, he was extremely successful, scoring 10 goals there. I don't know how many assists exactly off the top of my head, but I know he got 10. So what sort of winger are we getting? Are we getting someone that is going to look to beat a man? Is he more of a link-up winger? What are we getting?
Bit of both, really. He can take on a man. He more often than not will sort of chop inside and get a shot off, but he can go down the outside as well and deliver with his right foot. He's got decent delivery on his right foot, but he is very good at linking the play up as well. He will receive the ball in tight areas, sort of in your defensive half, and will manage to turn out of really tricky situations and will glide you up the pitch very easily. His trademark move, I guess, is chopping in and getting that shot off. I can remember a game at Hull. If any Forest fans kind of want to watch a game to get them excited, the away game at Hull where we drew 3-3, he scored 2 unbelievable goals in the second half. Just had his fullback on toast. He was just beating him every single time. He's quick, and he does a lot of hard work off the ball as well. When he first joined, it was his first professional sort of loan in the Football League, and he looked quite lightweight and didn't want to do his defensive work, but Kieran McKenna's really trained him up into our system where he does all the dirty work off the ball, works hard, and yeah, he can link up the play really well. And yeah, the numbers probably aren't there in the Premier League, but also he was playing in a very poor team like last year. There's no hiding that the bottom 3 were well below the rest, so I think he will function better in a more successful team as well.
Is he a player that is going to look after the ball as well? Because I know you look at some teams. I mean, you look at someone like Anthony Elanga we had last season for prime example. He was someone that was very quick, and that was his thing. But actually keeping the ball and sometimes being tidy was a problem. Whereas Callum Hudson-Odoi on the other side, you know what you're going to get from him. You know he's not going to lose the ball very often. Would Hutchinson compare more to Callum or to Elanga there in that case?
I think he keeps the ball very well. He's not someone who will run into blind avenues or give the ball away cheaply. He's not someone who's built a reputation of sort of losing the ball at the moment. With Jack Clark is playing on the left, for example, and he's someone who is at the moment dribbling into blind avenues and just losing the ball. But Omari Hutchinson hasn't shown that in his, perhaps at the start, like I was saying earlier, where he was trying to do sort of too much and trying to be the star of the show a bit when he joined really early on. But ever since then, he keeps the ball really well and plays the easy pass when it's on, and certainly keeps possession.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm a tiny bit surprised because of the number of successful dribbles he had in the Premier League. I think he was like 3rd or 4th highest, which is absolutely outrageous considering Ipswich didn't pull up any trees. Not to pardon the pun or anything. I wanted to ask you about the Sam Mosey statement. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I saw it earlier this afternoon.
What did you make of it overall? Because it made it sound like the club were happy to get rid of him rather than Omari Hutchinson wanting the move as such. I suppose maybe the fee is quite difficult to turn down, essentially.
I think Sam Mosey is just trying to stick up for a teammate that he can see is getting quite a bit of flack at the moment from Ipswich fans for the way the transfer's being handled. I don't think we want to get rid of him. We don't need to get rid of him. Like, we don't need the money, as far as I'm aware, for all the financial PSR reasons, etc. We've sold Liam Delap. We've got parachute payments. We haven't spent silly, so we don't need it. And Omari Hutchinson is one of Kieran McKenna's favourite players, so the club won't have wanted to get rid of him. I think Sam Mosey has just obviously had a long affiliation with Ipswich and worked with Omari Hutchinson, and he would always come out when he was at Ipswich and protect his teammates. So I think it's more a case of that rather than sort of trying to criticise either party. Because I don't think Ipswich would want to get rid of Omari Hutchinson this window.
Yeah, no, I can imagine, especially when like you say, losing Liam Delap and then wanting to hopefully bounce back into the Premier League in the first go if you can. I just wanted to ask, do you think Omari Hutchinson can go one step further than Forest? Because I'm not going to pretend that we're not a potential stepping stone club for some of these players. I think we've got a good platform for these young players that are coming. James McAtee, who could be joining as well. We could have like a proper English contingent at the moment. Rico Lewis has been been linked as well, which is just mental for me. We've got European football. We've got you've got domestic cups. You've got the Premier League. So at least 50 to 60 games potentially there for him. Can you see him going that one step further and making it to a bigger side than Forest? I'm not like putting a damper on ourselves as such. I'm just trying to be a bit more realistic for our current situation before any of my own listeners get on at me.
Yeah, no, definitely. And he is someone who will be targeting that as well, I'm afraid. But he is a very ambitious, very confident individual. I mean, that's kind of why what is happening now is happening, is because he sees himself as better than Championship football, which, he's right. I think he is a Premier League player, and in the right system. And if, like you say, you're going to have plenty of games this year, so he's going to get plenty of opportunities at Forest. And like I said earlier, the stats, you don't look at him last year and see he's pulled up any trees, but he is a really good player. And I think he'll suit Forest really well as well, actually, because I think you're more flair, better than me, obviously, but your more flair players also actually have to work hard. And I think he will work really hard in the system that you play. Obviously, I don't know how you're going to adapt your tactics this year, but yeah, he will be targeting the very top. And I do think he is someone who has the ability to go to the very top as well.
Yeah, I think it's a good move personally, in terms of if he wants that, it benefits both of us. And then he's going to have sell-on value being 21 and got lots ahead of him. So no, I'm excited about that. What would you represent a good season for Omari Hutchinson this season if he was going to put a red hot take out there, Henry?
Improving his numbers, I guess, because that is what ultimately most people look at. So if he can he got 3 last year in a struggling Premier League team that ultimately got relegated. So if he can get towards 7-8 goals in 30 appearances, he's going to play European football for the first time in his career, unless he had a random appearance for Chelsea back when he was with them. But yeah, I think improving his numbers, and I think he is someone who could, he's already played in the England U21s, but if he has a good season, he could push himself into England contention as well. I know those positions for England, they're stacked with quality, but he's someone who'll be aiming that high, and I think he does have that ability as well.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, thank you very much for jumping on, Henry. I really appreciate it, last minute kind of thing, because it's just come out of the blue, as we said. Where can people check out Blue Monday Podcast if they want to?
Across all the usual social medias, Instagram, X, Facebook, Blue Monday Podcast. If you type that in, you'll find that, and regular shows for all Ipswich fans out there.
No, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Do check Blue Monday out. I'm sure they've got plenty of stuff. Not even just Ipswich, because I know Ben Bloom does a lot of stuff. He's a man of many avenues. So yeah, no, do check it out. Obviously, subscribe and like for more. Hopefully, see you soon. Come on, you Reds.